this is Sean Paul, and right now you are checking out the vibes of thatgrapejuice.net. Keep it locked, you know what I mean?
Today, That Grape Juice viewers, we have a very special guest. This artist has been in the music industry for over 20 years, releasing his debut album in 2000, only to go on and sell millions of records afterwards. Although this artist has several accolades, including a Grammy and #1 hits around the world, its cultural impact is one to be proud of. You cannot mention the genre of Jamaican dancehall music without mentioning this artist's name. Dutty. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming the icon, the legend, Mr. Sean Paul.
Yo, what's up? What's up, bro?
Not much. So thank you for being here today. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for the accolades and thank you for the time, bro.
Yes. So I have to ask, so this last year with the pandemic and everything that's been going on, how have you spent this last year, and have you had any life-altering realizations since?
Yeah, I realized I cannot make ginger beer. I tried, had a lot of time, a few weeks each time, and it doesn't work for me too good. So, other than that, I can tell you I was afraid for 5 months. I was locked away for 5 months.
Right.
I have asthma, so it was kind of important for me to see what was going on first before stepping.
Yeah.
I then got a little confidence to be able to go back to the studio and start to do what I love to do, music. Right. And 2 albums later now, I have 2 albums ready for the public. One, the one that's out is Live and Living. Mm-hmm. One that's coming is called Scorch.
Yeah. All right. So I want to take it back all the way to back 2003 when Dutty Rock came out, which was that pretty much shot you into the stratosphere. What was that like? Did you feel like you had to change? Did you feel like you had to, did you work overtime and staying true to who you were as an artist? Or did you feel like you had to rise to this occasion of being this big worldwide star now?
When Dutty Rock blew up, I only hoped that all of my songs would do that, every one of them. So when it did happen, I was very elated and very happy. It took a few years to reach to that point, but to the international community, it seemed like boom, I was on the scene, and all of a sudden, a huge superstar. It took some time though, so when it started to happen to me, I was happy, but I was also just so much in the grind that I didn't really have time to notice,
right?
Or stop. Kind of be like, oh wow, I didn't do that till way years later. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I owe it to the fans, I owe it to people who work with me on a daily basis, producers, engineers, managers, and just self-determination. I kind of owe it to all of that.
Right.
And the feeling is amazing, appreciate all of that.
Right. So you had the hits like Give Me the Light, Get Busy, Like Glue, but you also had Baby Boy on there with Beyoncé. I remember you were performing it with her at the EMAs one time. What was that experience like to be interacting with her?
Oh, she's dope. Very amazing artist, focused and a lot of determination. So that's what I kind of picked up from her and learned from her. And I felt amazing to be able to work with people who, of course, are stepping out from their group because they're the most noticeable one.
Right.
It was our first solo album project, so it felt really big to me, really good.
Okay, so let's bring it back to present time, to the music now. So Live and Living, I've been listening to the album for the past couple of weeks. Schedule is my tune. I love that song. But I watched Guns of Navarone video, and people know you for the up-tempo songs, the fun songs, but you have more of a conscious side. So talk to me about the Guns of Navarone, the video and the song, and what you want, the message that you wanted to give with that.
Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're feeling the album and stuff. I'm known as the party guy, or put in the Mr. Give Me the Light box, which I really don't mind. I love that energy. it's a real big way or a big part of how I am. I like to be sociable and celebrate life, especially due to there being hard times in my life and in a lot of people's life. I think it's good to lean up on music. I kind of have had a conscious side for a long time, but never really put it in my music. I thought I didn't want to be too preachy, and I wanted people to more gravitate towards what I was saying. And I kind of left that side out. Mm-hmm. So over the years, I've done a couple songs, that were more conscious, and they were never really paid attention to in that respect. So I decided to kind of leave that out for a while. But now there's just so much violence going on in my community in Jamaica. There's so much throughout the world that I think I could speak on. So I've started to do much more conscious material. I think it has a little bit to do with me being a pops now. You know what I mean? I'm teaching kids right from wrong, and it's kind of reflecting in my lyrics. I'm not really teaching doing songs like that in my lyrics, what I teach to my kids. But when I do see things that are, to me, just wrong and bad in society, I like to try and put it into words.
And now let's talk about Scorcher. So I read that, you got collaborations like My Fire with Gwen Stefani, Shansia, Style G, Sia. How did these collaborations come about, and what can we expect from this album?
Simply by just, all of them came about simply like, just reaching out. Same like on this album, Live and Living. So Live and Living is more hardcore dancehall. Mm-hmm. And it features hardcore dancehall production and more, dance, like all dancehall artists. Yeah. The Scorcher is a little bit more off the top, like internationally sounding type of albums that I would do. If you remember songs with me, I do a Lipa, right, and stuff like that. So also it's a blend though. When I do albums like that, I do blend and I put my own dancehall production into the whole vibe. So you can look out for people like Jordan from Chimney Records on that album. Also TJ Productions. These are our big dancehall producers that do the thing. But then I also work with Banks and Ranks. So it's a mixture of things where it's like trying to bring the root of dancehall to the international pop sound of what dancehall kind of is.
Right. And so, going back to the sound of Scorcher, Tomahawk Technique was that first album that really was your departure into the more pop sound. So we'll expect more of that.
Yeah, similar. There's as I said, like the lead track Scorcher is straight Jamaican juggling and songs from TJ and that kind of stuff. Song productions from myself also on here. But then, I released an EP a couple years ago. That was the one featuring with Dua Lipa and all those. And they're kind of more in that vein. A lot of songs. The song with Sia, Gwen Stefani. People like Tovlo is on that album. A lot of people may know that song already. So just a good vibes, you know what I mean? As it is, I'm the person that kind of brings, those two worlds together, the more poppy sound of what we do in this genre, which people outside of it call island music. But then I bring the dancehall flavor with it also. So those albums are way more oriented, I guess, for a pop audience, an international audience to be able to palate, listen. Live and Living is more hardcore, and I just felt that for this time, people wanted to hear more music, and I decided to put one out, which is just hardcore dancehall, and the other one, which is more bridging the gap.
Right. Well, I hope you have another Pepper Pot on there somewhere from Imperial Blaze, because that song, that's one of my all-time favorites. Pepper Pot.
Appreciate it. Yeah. One that's like that is the Gwen Stefani and Shansia song. It's a lovers rock reggae song, so it's kind of like reminiscent of the Sasha, me and Sasha.
Okay.
Okay.
We're looking forward to that then. But circling back to collaborations, I was listening to your Apple interview just last week, and you said that Rihanna was your best experience with a collaboration, the way she came down to Jamaica and took in the full experience.
Yeah.
I just wanna tell us some more about that.
Yeah, I met her on tour, and she was a young artist. She had a dancehall single that was really banging on the replay.
Mhm.
And we were on tour. I'd see her at several different shows, and then she started to say, "I've never been to Jamaica," and I was like, "Yo, you need to come." And then one day she picked up the phone and said, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." She said, "I'm coming to Jamaica." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah." So that Christmas she came with a friend, and I was able to, carry her around, show her the club, show her the street dance, show her, the beach. We went to Bob Marley Museum, pan chicken, just like the experience. And the reason why I keep saying it's one of my favorite collabs or best experience as a collab is because most of the stuff I've done is just like over the internet. I'd have to go to where the other artist was. So to be able to show somebody that was really popular right now, and she hadn't done Umbrella yet, so she wasn't a mega superstar, but she was really hot in rotation and had a lot of songs that people that were bubbling and really doing well. So then all of a sudden we end up at the studio, and I was like, "Yo," and the dude was playing like rhythm after rhythm after rhythm, and he was like, "Yeah, I like some of these," and I was like, "This one's dope." And big up to Dan Carleon. He's a producer, and we did a song for him, which actually went to #9 on the Billboard chart. So that's the reason why I say I think it was #7 on the playlist charts. So that means that it was being played a lot, and people was gravitating towards it without being pushed by any record label, mine or hers. It was just on the strength. So for all those reasons, made me feel like, yo, this was a dope experience to have, to bring someone here to show them how we do it, and then make a song that was basically a hit for me.
All right, that sounds like a great experience, but I want to take this moment to put it out there in the universe, although it's been 16, 17 years, when Rihanna finally comes out with this dancehall reggae record that she's supposed to be doing. We need Sean Paul and Rihanna Part 2.
Yeah, man, I love that. I would love that. That'd be dope.
But when I see you, you are like one of the few handful of artists, who is, you're a family man, you're a father, and you fall into that group with Jay-Z, Lenny Kravitz, who are, mature men, but still give off this youthful and relevant appeal of like a 30-year-old man. How do you do it? You just like to have fun? Your way of life? How do you keep so relevant?
Yeah, I think that this career, this music business, it kind of keeps you in that bubble, so to speak. I never really noticed the time passing until I saw my friends' kids growing up, and I was like, yeah, every time I come home, they were bigger, and it seemed like no time had passed to me because I'm doing the same thing every day, touring. We do a show, we go to the studio, I do promotion, I come home, and I'm around a lot of, I guess, younger people that's just telling me what's up with their life, and I'm in tune with that more than I was in tune with my friends or my age group's lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I took longer, to have kids and all of that. But now, experiencing my kids, I'm feeling that even more now. And it was harder to go on tour for me, that kind of vibe. But it's something to be said about when you do work that you really love.
Right.
You can get so immersed in it that time stands still for you. And basically that's how it was for me. I just owe it to the fans to say thank you, man. It's been 20 odd years. And I've been growing from strength to strength, and it would seem to my diaspora that, oh, I'm a star and everybody knows me, but there's still ground to gain. Like I've never been to China, never. And I do have Asian roots, you know, Chinese roots. So like my grandparent, one of my grandfather's father and mom came from China and Indonesia. So, yeah, although he was born here, the direct line to China through, you know, my mom's dad. So it's like, I still feel like I have places to conquer, you know what I mean? And I keep on doing it. So maybe that's a next reason for me to be so vibrant in the biz. There's a lot of people that kind of lose steam. They feel it's not for them anymore, but I'm inspired still by rhythms, by ladies dancing, by, you know, even though I don't have clubs now, I have Instagram to see them doing their thing. And yeah, that's good liquor vibe.